Good morning. It's 3:45, and as you can tell, it's pretty dark outside. And I'm about a half a mile from the Kaibab trailhead. Gonna start the rim to rim to rim. This is a ridiculous video right here because, like I said, it's pitch black, but the stars are absolutely amazing. Christy just dropped me off here at the edge of the Grand Canyon. We're gonna try to give this dang old trail a shot. I'll talk to you when it gets a little bit lighter. Thanks. So I'm about a mile and a half or a mile and 3/4 in. It's 4:51. The sun's coming up. There is a privy here, so I stopped and used the privy. I think this is a nice stop they have for the mules that come down the South Kaibab Trail. Anyhow, there's a nice big area here where you can stop and get a drink and get a little relief. I watched shows that we've come down about 1,200 feet maybe, and I think we have to go down about 5,000 feet total. So we have a little ways left to go, but the sun's coming up. I took my headlamp off. It should be a lot easier to walk. The trail's really nice and wide, but there's a lot of steps and a lot of logs to step over, and since this is the mule trail, there's also a lot of deep pits that they've created here. Haven't really seen much wildlife. We've seen a lot of elk up around the lodges, and then there has been just a raven, I think. Anyhow, it's a beautiful morning. Talk to you in a little while. All right, that was 2 miles. We're just a little ways past that bathroom stop. All right, it's 5:15 in the morning. It's about 70 degrees or 75 degrees down here where I'm at right now. Started out at 53 or 55 up the top, so it is definitely getting warmer. Yesterday they said it was 106 at the bottom, so we're going to try and beat that. I wanted to stop here because you can kind of see the trail that we're going to go, or I'm going to go on here, or we're going to go on. See, it goes across that ridge there, under that point, and out to that. I guess maybe that's a point, I don't know. And then somewhere you drop down, you come out right over there, go down those switchbacks, and then out around that somewhere. Ultimately, I guess, we go over there. Anyhow, this was a beautiful hike, beautiful landscape, perfect weather. All right. It's the first view of the Colorado River, so it doesn't look near as little as it did from way up top. Looks like the water's running pretty good right there. It is an amazing, amazing view. I feel so lucky to get to come do this. Sorry about that. All right, back to the trail. So I've been a little over 5 miles. It is 6:30, and that means what? We're racing along at 2 miles an hour on the downhill. Makes you wonder what the uphill is going to be like. I stopped just a few minutes ago at another stop they have for the people on the mules, and I guess people hiking too. It is called Tonto East. And I got a bagel out. I've been eating a bagel. I wasn't going to do any of this just yet, but it was so pretty right here that I thought maybe I should. I really hope I can put all this stuff together. So I'm at my last section of downhill, and it should be about 2 miles or 2.5 miles, maybe a little less than 2.5 down to Phantom Ranch. Not too far to cross the Colorado River. And start up the other side. When I stopped and took my pack off and got a bagel out, my legs were quivering like the old days they used to after a track meet or a swim meet. Was kind of a weird feeling, but it was a feeling that I had when I was young. I don't think I've had them do that ever that I can remember as an adult. The scenery is just unbelievable. You just have to stop and look around every now and then. Check these guys out coming down. Pack mules bringing supplies down to Phantom Ranch. I tell you what, hiking down is something. I just can't hardly imagine balancing on the back of a mule as you're going down. That just sounds dreadful. The sign says when the mules come by, stand at the inside of the trail, listen to the trail boss or the mule boss or whatever they're called. Mule boys, cowboys, pack boys, and then let them go. It's interesting. There have been a lot of mule poops out here, but they're only in select areas. Kind of like they all have a rhythm to this. I guess if you do it day in and day out, you're going to have a rhythm. It hasn't been very crowded. I've had a couple of young men go past me. There's a young couple right behind me. They were at the Tonto East eating. And then there's a couple about my age that are back there somewhere. They started just a little bit ahead of me. And then I passed them when they were having a bagel break. I don't expect they're very far back. That's about it so far today. I've seen 3 people going up. Well, 4 going up. One old guy was going up, and it was very early. It was dark as night, and he just had about, 10 or 12 switchbacks, and he was done. He was huffing and puffing. Kind of gave me pause. And then one guy going up was moving pretty good, head on his trail runners. And then 2 younger people, a young couple, went up just before Tonto East, and they were just moving comfortably, it looked like. Anyway, I'm going to sign out and let the mules go by. I'll talk to y'all again probably when we get to the bottom, since this is really more or less the last section down. Oh, I was going to say, we've been down, looks like 3,500 feet so far. So we should only have about 1,500 feet left to go. All right, we're heading down. We've reached the Colorado River, bottom of the Grand Canyon. We're going to go through this little tunnel. And we'll come out on the suspension bridge, I think. Anyhow, it's about, I think about 6.5 miles. I'm going to check when we get out in the light here that we've been. Yeah, actually 7 miles. Psychologically, I guess this is halfway. However, the trail today is supposed to be 20 miles. So we got another 3 miles to make the actual halfway. Oh, also, probably I told you a lot more about mule poop than you wanted to know. Sorry about that. We'll try to keep it on topic here. So the sun came up, I don't know, a couple hours ago now. And once the sun came up, the lizards came out. There are gazillions of lizards. Skinny tan ones, skinny black ones, big fat green and blue ones. I'm not sure what they are. Probably in the guidebook in the car, it'll tell us. But there are a whole lot. Oh, I didn't fall, but it was close. There are a lot of them. And they ought to be taking care of the ants. Anyhow, I'm having a great trip. Drinking a lot. Fixing to get across the suspension bridge. You want to see the river? I should show you the river. Yeah. The canyon. We came from way up there. Oh my gosh. We're gonna go way back up there. Oh my double gosh. Anyway, that's the way it is at the dang old Grand Canyon. I'm gonna sign off and talk to you again in a little bit. Bye-bye. All right, sorry about that. Dropped my stick. Here we go. Just wondering how far we had to go. I don't know if you can read that. It says North Rim 13.4 miles. I think we've been about 8.5. So rather than 20, this one looks like about 22 also. I stopped a while back in the shade. Had a balance bar and a granola bar and a lot of water. And then just after we went by that bridge, there was drinking water, so I drank a big bottle full of water and filled it back up again. Worked out really nice. Anyway, the trail's been good. It's much thinner here since the mules don't go on this side of on this trail. It's still a very good trail. It's just unbelievable to me how they made this trail. My gosh. Some of the terrain I came through was crazy. Absolutely crazy. But somebody had the ingenuity to do it. And it's been a beautiful hike. It is 8 o'clock in the morning right now. So I've been walking for 4 hours and made it, by my Garmin anyway, 8.5 miles. So again, we're setting a blistering pace of 2 miles an hour. Maybe just a scotch faster, but not much faster. My goodness. Quite a place. Unbelievable. Wow. All right. So, I know nobody wants to see this, but I thought I'd give you a minute at least. Let you know how pale and vampish I look after hiking down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon, and how much like cousin Morticia I'll look like when I get up to the other side. Anyway, I'm having a good time. I'm not making quite the time that I thought I might, but that's all right. I'm not trying to push too hard, and even all that downhill, my thighs were definitely noticing it. It's been really nice. The weather's been good. Once the sun came up, it warmed up quite a bit, but I'm in the shade right now, so it's really nice. All right, I'll show you a little bit and then I'll check in later. Okay, well, I'm back. I thought I'd take some pictures here. It's quite a bit different topography than we've had before. We've been walking along a creek for about 3 miles or so since we left Phantom Canyon. And it's our first glimpse, not those I don't think, but way back up there is our first looks at the north rim. And it says, my Garmin says 13 miles, but it's been a little crazy down here. I've had quite a bit of walk in the shade, which is nice. However, I'm not in the shade right now. And it's been a really nice trail. The trail coming down was good, but nothing like this. It's wider, but the mules beat it out, make so many holes in it that this has just really been a nice, pleasant trail with a gradual incline. The North Kaibab Trail. It's been very pleasant. And I maybe picked up the pace a little bit since the trail is a lot smoother. It's just been really nice. Very different than any place I've ever hiked. It's the vegetation and the dryness remind me of Black Mesa and a little bit of Moab sometimes, but not really exactly like any place else. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you if there's something good to see. Oh, hang on a minute. Maybe we're going to go across the creek. I can show you again. The creek's pretty good. It's a lot of water coming down it, considering we're in the middle of the desert. I don't know what the story is there. Well, we're going down a little bitty creek that goes into the creek. I don't know if that's much to see. Anyway, having fun in the Grand Canyon. The dang old Grand Canyon. Signing out. It's harder to do than it looked like. Maybe because I was running this video thing. There's the top. I don't think that's exactly where we're going, but there's the top. All right, I just left Cottonwood Campground. Well, I'm actually still in Cottonwood Campground, but I just left the water station. It was a amazingly long way, hot and dry from the bridge, the black bridge back there, the suspension bridge went across where we re-upped our water to here, and I drank 3 24-ounce bottles and a 1.5 liter bottle of bladder, and I still felt like I was running out of water. So I sat down and I drank 2 more 24-ounce bottles of water just to replenish, and then I filled everything I owned back up again. All right, I'm going to stop and read the sign. I'll be right back. Here we go. It looks like on the map we have 7 miles to go, and I don't know what I was going to say. Looks like there are some additional water stops along the way going this way. So maybe I didn't need to fill everything I own back up again, but I did it anyway. Anyhow, also I was going to tell you it's 11 o'clock. My Garmin died. I think my Fitbit's dead, which is really disappointing for a guy who's a Fitbitter. My Garmin died at about 15 miles, so not too long ago. But it has definitely warmed up. Most of the places we've been by that actually had any services also had a thermometer, but I didn't see one here. Anyhow, 6.8 miles to go, and I will be there. Moving along. It is still gorgeous. It's really dry here, though. They say it's really dry, but it's different when you experience it. Having a good hike. There's quite a few people. I met a guy earlier today, not far after Phantom Ranch, that was running and walking, mostly running. And he was going all the way, or at least he said most of the way. He may not go all the way to the North Rim, but most of the way, and turn around and go back today, which I found to be pretty ambitious. He was, Adams, his name. He lives in Flagstaff. He said this is kind of his backyard. He was a young guy, obviously. Anyhow, it's been a good hike so far. We're definitely gaining on it here. It's way different here than it was on the south side. So we have just followed this creek for miles and miles. All right, we'll just sign off for a little while and I'll be back. Okay, so it's 1:30. I don't know how far I've been anymore, but I can tell you that the Grand Canyon is immense, unbelievably large, because I've been walking for a long, long time. And while I don't have too much further to go, I still got a ways to go. You can see that the white up there with the trees on it is the top. Took a long time to actually start back up in earnest, but we have definitely been hiking in earnest for a long time. I haven't taken any pictures because it's hard enough just to hike uphill. Interestingly, I have had the equivalent of 9 24-ounce bottles of water and Gatorade so far today. It is so dry, I just drink constantly. But it's keeping my head screwed on, so that's a good thing. Anyway, pretty soon I'll be done. Christy thought by 2 o'clock, but I'm not going to make 2 o'clock. I might make 3 o'clock. We'll just have to wait and see. It is unbelievably hot down at the bottom. I took a picture of the temperature sign, not a thermometer per se, but somebody had written it, some ranger had written it on the board. So you already saw that. So you know it's pretty dang hot. Anyway, we're moving. There's a lady up in front of me with a silver umbrella that I've been following for quite a few miles now anyway. And she also started on the south rim this morning. She wasn't very talkative, so we just let her not be talkative. And I let her go on so she wouldn't have to be bothered. All right, I'm out.
Up in the shade, some there. You know, last time there were so many more people, I think. Congratulations, Eric.
Gimme. Thank you.
You did it.
I did
Rim
it.
to rim. Congratulations.
Rim to rim.